Hey guys, it's Jael Dae, and welcome to the Heart Matters Devotional. So I told you guys in one of my previous videos that I would start doing devotionals to accompany the songs off of my mixtape entitled Heart Matters. Many of you know I am an R&B artist, but the most important thing about my music is that I'm Christian. So in a lot of my songs, though it has a very awesome R&B and soulful feel, they all have biblical backgrounds and meanings, and our songs meant to praise and bring awareness of God. So in the Heart Matters devotionals, I'm going to be breaking down each song off of the Heart Matters mixtape and talking about the biblical principles and scriptures that inspired me to write them. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to be sharing with you the Heart Matters in my life that inspired me to write these songs, and hopefully you can relate and be inspired by the scriptures that I share. So let's get started. The first track on the Heart Matters mixtape is entitled So Cold, and I get my inspiration from this song from Matthew 24, verses 12 through 13. It says in Matthew 24, verses 12 through 13, "Because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold, but he who stands firm to the end will be saved." So I wrote this song, guys, because you just see in today's world, there's so much wickedness increasing. All you have to do is watch the news for just 5 minutes and you can see how people's hearts are just growing colder and colder every day. But if you're not careful, yours can grow cold along with them. After each passing day of disappointment and heartbreak and letdowns, your heart can start to lose the very thing that really makes it tick, and that's love. I wrote the song So Cold because at the time, that's where my heart was at. I have been having the hardest time working through an ended relationship. My career wasn't where I wanted it to be. And day after day, I was getting more and more bitter. And really, I was getting bitter towards God. My heart had gotten to the point where it was as hard as a rock. I would read a scripture and it would just bounce right off of it. Nothing convicted me. Nothing moved my heart. Nothing changed me. The dangerous thing about your heart getting hard is that it's very difficult to want it to change. When you have a hard heart and you're not sensitive to it, you don't see the need or have the desire for it to be different, for it to change. So the first thing I had to do was really want a different heart. But once you get to the point where you do want your heart to change, it's very hard to believe that it can. But since Jesus says in verse 12, "But he who stands firm to the end will be saved," we are given the hope that it can be done. But how? How can it be done? How can we change a cold, hard heart and make it one that's full of love again? Through prayer and drawing near to God. In the Bible, there are so many passages that talk about God's providence over the heart. You got Jeremiah 17, 9 through 10, that says, "The heart is deceitful beyond cure. Who can understand it? I, the Lord, search the heart." And so you see that God is able to search and know what's in our hearts. In Ezekiel 36:26, it says that God is able to take our heart of stone and give us a new heart of flesh. He's able to soften a hard heart. But one of my favorites is 1 John 3:20. It says, "If our hearts condemn us, we know that God is greater than our hearts, and he knows everything." God is so faithful. And he can change any heart. He brings back to life what feels like a hardened rock in your chest by pouring into it his goodness and love. If you ever do find yourself in the position where you feel your heart growing cold or your heart is just completely hardened, a prayer that I suggest you pray is the prayer of David that you can find in Psalm 51:10. In Psalm 51:10, David prays, "Create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me." Here you see David crying out to God, just begging him to give him a new heart and a new spirit, a pure heart and a steadfast spirit, because the one that he knew had been shaken and was corrupted by his sinful desires. It can be our sinful desires, it can be our bitterness, it can be hurt, it can be a lack of trust that gradually turns our heart into this rock-hard, solid, impenetrable thing. If you pray to God like David did in Psalm 51:10 to give you a pure heart and a new spirit, guess what? He will. So in the song So Cold, you see me crying out to God, being in a place where my heart has just lost its warmth. I'm still going to church, I'm still fellowshipping, I'm still, interacting with people. But deep down inside, I'm just spiritually dead. My heart has grown cold, and it's been hurt and trampled over and disappointed and grown so bitter that I don't even know how to love people anymore. And I'm crying out to God, just saying, God, please help me to learn how to love again. I just need you to show me how to love for real, because right now my heart is just way too afraid to feel. And this song really means a lot to me, and it sets the tone for the whole entire mixtape about it being matters of the heart. And not to just say the word heart over and over again, but it's very heartfelt. And if you ever have felt this way, if you feel this way right now, listen to this song and just cry out to God and read these scriptures and believe that God can change what you're going through. He can change your heart and bring it back to life again. Thank you for watching. I'll be back next week with the next song on the Heart Matters mixtape and a whole new devotional. Please listen to So Cold. The link is listed below.